Hi guys and girls, Miss Vaselli here. Today you're going to be learning about multiplying by powers of 10 and how that relates to the place value charts that you've been looking at throughout the week. Good luck! The guiding question for today is how many hundreds are in 3,200s? So by the end of this lesson, you should be able to tell how many hundreds are in 3,200, not just by looking at place value blocks, but by looking at place value charts or thinking about it in your brain. In this lesson, you will learn about the relationship between digits on a place value chart by multiplying by powers of 10. Let's review. We've been looking at these base 10 blocks all week long, so you should be very familiar with them. We know that the ones are signified by a small cube, and that if we multiply the ones by 10, we get a group of 10. The tens are signified by a rod of 10. If we multiply that 10 by 10, we get 100, and we know that 100 is signified by a flat. If we multiply 100 by 10, we get 1,000, and we know that 1,000 is represented by a larger block in the base 10 cubes. So to review, 1 times 10 equals 10. 10 times 10 equals 100. And 100 times 10 equals 1,000. A common mistake that many students make is getting confused when visualizing numbers that are bigger than 1,000. For example, how do you use base 10 blocks to represent 100,000? Let's get started by investigating the powers of 10. If we look at the number 4, and we increase 4 10 times, we get the number 40. 40 is 10 times larger than 4. And notice that while there was not a 0 in the tens place here, we added a 0 when we were multiplying by 10. So now let's take look at the number 40 and increase that 10 times. So if we increase 40 10 times, we would come up with the number 400. So take a look. We increased the number 4 10 times, and we got the number 40. So we tacked on a 0 there at the end because 4 times 10 equals 40. Then we multiplied 40 by 10, and we came up with the product of 400. And take a look. We have 1 0 here in 40, and then we have 2 zeros here in the number 400. Let's now take a look at the number 24 and increase 24 10 times. If we increase the number 24 10 times, we get the number 240. 240 is 10 times bigger than 24. Let's take a look at the number 24 on a place value chart. If you look up at the top of our place value chart, you'll notice that 24 is made up of 2 10s and 4 1s. If we multiply 24 times 10, we create the number 240. And we add a 0 to our 24. If we increase that number by 100, we get the number 2,400, and we tack on 2 zeros at the end. And again, if we shift over on the place value chart and multiply by 1,000, we get 24,000, and you see that there are 3 zeros tacked on to the end. Now I want you to take a look at this pattern that we're seeing. We have 24, and that would be times 1. And anything multiplied by itself is the larger number itself. So we have 24 times 1 would be 24. There are no zeros in the ones place. But take a look. Whenever we're multiplying by 10, there's 1 0 in 10, and there's 1 0 in the product, 240. Take a look down here. When we multiply by 100, there are 2 zeros in 100, so we just tack those zeros onto the end of 24, which gives us 2,400. 400. The same thing happens if you multiply by 1,000. There are 3 zeros here in 1,000, so we have 24, and then we have 3 zeros in our product for 24,000. Now you may be wondering, well, how many tens are in 4,000? Well, let's take a look at our place value chart. As the 4 moved down through our place value chart, its value increased by 10. So since we're wondering how many tens are in the number 4,000, we're going to take a look at the tens place. We can see that there are 400 tens in the number 4,000. So we take whatever value we're looking at. So here it asks you how many tens are in 4,000. So we're looking at the tens place, and then we don't use these numbers over here. We would start here and go all the way over until our number stops to the left. And we would use those numbers. So you can see that there are 400 tens in the number 4,000. Because 400 times 10 equals 4,000. Let's take a look at another problem. How many hundreds are in 3,200? Since we're looking at the hundreds, we want to make sure that we're looking in the hundreds place on our place value chart. So we'll travel up to our hundreds place, and we can see that there are 32 hundreds in the number 3,200, because 32 times 100 equals 3,200. Let's take a look at this question a different way. How much larger is 3,200 than 32? So we're still using the number 3,200. If you look at the 32 on the place value chart, and you look at the 3,200 on the place value chart, you'll notice that we've shifted over that 32 2 times. The first time we increased by 10, and then we increased by 10 again. So take a look. 10 times 10 equals 100. So 3,200 is 100 times larger than 32. In this lesson, you have learned about the relationship between digits on a place value chart by multiplying by powers of 10. Let's take a look at some guided practice. Write 35,550 on a place value chart, and you can use your WSQ for this. How much larger is the 5 in the thousands place than the 5 in the tens place?